Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Nanyang Championships. The European qualifier continues right now as we see the Monkey Freedom Fighters, the other monkey team, taking on Alliance. Hey, Ben.
Hi. What do you call Monkey Freedom Fighters? MFF?
MFF, I guess.
MF?
MF?
MF reminds me way too much of Magic Find.
The less successful monkey. They have not been on that level of dominance that we've seen from the other monkey boys. Monkey business. But let's see what they have in store for us, guys. The draft has begun. MFF. Their name's so long it doesn't even fit in the overlay. Jesus. Taking on the Alliance.
They didn't ban out Nature's Prophet. And they also took Bat Rider. Bat Rider...
That is interesting. S4 Bat.
Bat Rider I still think is weak, actually. He got his Flame Break buffed, but...
And the Eggs buff, you know, it sounds nice, but you have to get your Blink Force, possibly BOTs first. So...
And then BKB generally.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's a situation where you can skip one or two of those items, but like Blink Force at a minimum, and boots.
It's still pretty cool.
It sounds awesome. I hope it becomes
I think his main issue was that he couldn't farm the jungle quickly at all because Napalm does like half damage to creeps. On top of that, the neutral creeps gave less gold in 6.84, and a lot of offlaners just being better, and his base damage is just terrible. There are a lot of things that I think were wrong with the hero that 6.85 could potentially help. Hopefully S4 proves me wrong. Actually, I guess we saw Cloud9 run it like I think once at TI 5, and they actually almost won with it, where Bat Rider actually made a pretty significant impact. So maybe he does still have a place.
Yeah, so the only other change here, I guess, aside from the Ags upgrade, I'd kind of be surprised if we see it unless it goes really late here, but obviously Flame Break got changed, so the damage over time is less at all levels, but the damage duration is longer, so basically it's like harder, I guess, to heal up through the Flame Break damage.
It's also just better synergy with Napalm. You want a lot of small instances of damage as opposed to one large nuke, which Flame Break previously was.
That's a good point. So, what do we have for the Monkey Freedom Fighters? They actually banned Leshrac. Interesting. I'm not sure how often we'll see that as this patch moves along.
It's still like a, you know, is like a lot of teams will still pick it just because it's what they're familiar with and ban it just because they haven't played against it for so long, and still in your mind like, oh my god, Leshrac. You think he might be nerfed, and then you just don't want to take that risk. So,
yeah, I guess we'll have to wait until teams actually run it and see whether or not it works, and if it flops, then they'll stop.
Alliance is all aboard the 6.85. Just let's pick different stuff. Well, I guess Nature's Prophet isn't that different, but Bat Rider is.
Let's pick the old stuff that used to work for us and hope it still does.
Just go with Lone Druid, Faceless Void. Oh, Spectre, actually. So I was thinking a little bit more about Spectre, and it seems like he got decently buffed. Just because before it would get like double reduced before it was a return, but then it was returned as pure. So I guess for high armor targets, it can still do more damage, but. It seemed like monkeys were pretty afraid of it last series, and I expect that they've probably done a decent amount of theory crafting regarding it.
And people generally, I guess with Glimmer Cape, there's a lot of magic resistance in the game now, so.
And anti-mage, although he doesn't.
So the
really
pure
damage.
That's where like having it always be pure damage was potentially nicer. But if Glimmer really falls off as an item, then maybe
well, what about like versus BKB heroes though? Do you do damage to BKB heroes now because it is reflected as physical?
I guess for physical damage you would, but
it's still. I'm just not completely sure on the mechanics because Dispersion's a weird skill to begin with. But if it works against BKB because it's physical now, then that's a huge buff.
Yeah, because it used to be, even when it was pure damage, BKB would still block it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't BKB piercing pure damage. So then I'm pretty sure, I mean, based on how it's written, it sounds like it should.
But not all, yeah.
It reflects damage before reductions and returns as the same damage type. So if you take physical damage, you should be returning physical damage. Is how it's written.
Makes sense to me.
I don't know if it works that way.
I mean, return works on BKB heroes, so I would assume that it works.
If that's the case, then it's got to be a buff overall.
Yeah.
Because it means BKB doesn't counter Spectre nearly as hard as it used to.
And I think it's really good versus like.
Well, I say counter. Obviously, it doesn't fully counter the hero, but it definitely helps.
Yeah.
Is that something the Alliance would run in this draft, or do you think it's too crazy?
Loda, I think like just loves that hero.
Chikiro. Oh man, we're getting some fresh stuff here. So the dual breath moves faster now. So it like gets to the heroes quicker, harder to dodge it.
Ice Path.
It does more damage, a little bit more damage. And Ice Path has longer range. None of these are like colossal buffs, but little incremental improvements in the old Twin Head. The one thing that was not buffed though is what many consider his best spell, which is the third skill. What is the name of it?
Liquid Fire.
Liquid Fire.
Sadly, the Yule's got nerfed too, so that's also something to consider for Jakiro. But we may see the return of the Ogre Jakiro. I actually love that combo. That
The
combo
forehead strat is good old Kato guy will call it.
it's so good. It's so good.
I mean, Ogre Raja is just ridiculous now. 8 base armor, is it? He's invincible. You can't kill this guy.
His model should be just like covered in chainmail and plate mail. There should be no blue
he should be
on
like
his
a
body.
Diablo like warrior or something, like fully decked out.
Yeah.
So they get the Jakiro here. I imagine almost certainly a support. No way this is like a core Jakiro.
You don't know. You don't know with this draft.
I mean, I guess they also could jungle one of these heroes potentially. We'll see, I guess. Monkey Freedom Fighter's getting the Witch Doctor.
It's really good for pushing. I think they're going to be pushing pretty darn hard.
Oh, you know what else got buffed, Ben? Hero that Loda also likes, Chaos Knight.
And Sven.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a CK or... I think we actually might see a CK here.
Why not Tiny? I think Tiny is a lot better.
Only because I feel like Alliance are hipsters and they almost always pick a different Wisp partner.
That's true. They are hipsters. They really like PA.
PA could be interesting this game.
I think she'll get owned too hard by Lena. Lena, I still think dumpsters on PA. You want a strength hero who has more innate HP.
But imagine the bashing dagger. You just shoot your dagger out, you get a little random bash there. I feel like that's just gonna
bash plus crit plus MKB proc.
Maybe a little Mjolnir lightning burst as well.
Scotty slow.
Just got all on hit effects.
Can you get crit too? Can you?
I think you can. Anything that's possible with a normal attack, I think.
So I guess you can get Daedalus crit, although that won't stack with Stifling Dagger crit. That'd be sweet if it did.
Like a double crit.
1800 nuke.
I would love to see that.
So let's see. Monkey Freedom Fighters. Are they going to venture outside of 6.84 and go with something a little bit different? So let's see. What else is good versus the... Viper is actually pretty good versus the forehead strat, though.
So his agility growth was increased by 0.4.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, oh god, please not Viper buff. I think he did need a buff, though, but I just hate the hero so much.
No longer pierces spell immunity, so later on you can't really deal with BKB carries as well. Or Lifestealer. That's a hero that actually got buffed a lot with the rage cooldown.
He's still not very good, though.
And the infesting control on Ancients, man. You can take over one of those like
that part
Ancient
is cool.
Thunderhides. As well as the... Yeah, they banned CK, man. They know their Alliance.
I wish he got the move speed from his like own hero. What if you have like phase S and Y and then you're
like
stuck
sprinting around on one of those super ancient granite golems?
Well, I think that'd actually be useful because if he's in a creep, he's so slow. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't chase people with a melee.
Well, you gotta get the ancient Thunderhides, I guess.
Yeah. So what Wisp partner? Tiny is still in the pool. Chaos Knight, as you mentioned, has been banned out. Phantom Assassin has been okay. What other ones are there? Ursa is possible. Trying to think of any others. Faceless Void? No. They can't be doing that.
Alliance?
Yeah.
No way.
I'm trying to think of any other.
This is a weird draft to run a Void in.
Gyro. We used to be a
Gyro's
partner,
banned.
but he's banned, yeah.
Let's see.
I can't think of that many, aside from Ursa, PA, and Tiny.
Bristleback?
Bristleback. Oh yeah, Bristleback's good.
All right.
The Lifestealer that you mentioned.
It is the Lifestealer. Interesting.
See, okay.
So the big buffs on him are taking over the Ancient Creeps.
That is cool. I want to see that.
I definitely want to see that. And the 3-second cooldown reduction on Rage. Down from 19 to 16.
Imagine just pushing with that big dragon. Like, you don't even need to actually kill people. You just walk
tank.
up. Yeah, you just tank and give everyone armor and
then when it's about to die, you just pop out full health Lifestealer with all his cooldowns ready.
Hopefully,
and you might have another infest ready. Yeah. And imagine if Bulldog gets his ultimate. then you can just take over one of the little triad dudes as well, you know? So you can have like a second vehicle ready. You infest an Ancient, you let the infest cool down. Then when you're about to die, you pop out of the Ancient. You hop. If you get low again, you hop back into the big Mega Triad. There's potential here, Ben. I think we're theory.
So a lot of different mechanics here that are going to be strange. So does Lifestealer's Feast on Spectre reflect back to him?
It's a damage source, right?
It
Feast
is
damage.
But during Rage, does it do? It's like added
Feast
as
is physical damage.
It's added as physical now, right?
So, yeah. So it should reflect.
I didn't see any of Lifestealer in 6.84 after the physical damage changed to Feast, so I wasn't completely sure on that. And then Lifestealer won't get corrosive by Viper while raged. Does it take off? Does Magic Immunity take off corrosive skin, or does it still?
It says it will not. Let me double check.
10 seconds.
No longer pierces spell immunity. But
So
I don't. So I guess rage would remove.
5 seconds.
I don't think
I don't
rage.
know. I don't know if it would remove.
I don't think it removes it either.
But it would. If you're already raged, you won't continue to be. God, we're gonna. We got a lot of mechanics to figure out here.
Yeah. Does it like? Does it like not proc when you're spell immune? I'm pretty sure it doesn't proc when you're spell immune. But if you're affected by it prior to spell
Can you
immunity,
purge it. Yeah.
I don't think it purges because usually poison effects don't purge.
And
with PKB.
our flattened serializer has stopped decoding.
You can you can go to mine.
Okay, we're gonna hop on over to good old Benjamin Wu's screen. Is that bug just happening like every time somebody loads?
Not for me. Okay. On Alliance, we have Bat Rider on his pimped. Oh my gosh, what is this? Gas mask. S4 on his well-known Bat Rider. Loda on the Lifestealer. Ake on the Io. My Nuts playing the Jakiro Admiral Bulldog on the Scythe of Vice. I'm trying to check out all his items. He doesn't have a Scythe of Ice, but he does have the inscribed Sephiroth sapling. Gift from Barcoin.
I feel like Bulldog would definitely have the scythe. He must just prefer this one.
Well, the Immortal one, I mean, it has cool animations.
Yeah.
Okay, and on the side of Monkey Freedom Fighters, we have Mad on the Lena, Paris, also known as Saksha on the Spectre. I don't think I've seen this cosmetic before. Necroman on the Viper. We have Sing Sing on the Tusk, and we have Cats on the Witch Doctor.
All right, we had the double crash, so keep
Double.
on working there on the camera controls.
He doesn't have the Immortal. Sad times. Okay.
Rip.
Oh, Beaver Knight does not have an Observer Ward. He is posted up, though, for a gank. Loda out in front with no skill point yet. They do scout him out. Both teams know where each other... Ooh, almost locked him in with the Frost Shards, but nothing happened yet. So no snowball threat, at least. That should make Alliance a little bit more confident into chasing the rune, but looks like they do not want to deal with this at all. Wisp Tiny already breaking some trees down for that stackage.
All right, looks like we are back in officially. And the Monkey Freedom Fighters, they get underway. They'll find the shards on Aki off the bat. Follow up lead of stuns there. And from the moment the horn sounds, Alliance are trailing already.
That was... I mean, he doesn't have Snowball, but they still have a couple of stuns. And nice Ice Shards by Tusk to lock him into place. He did have 1 second left on his tether, but still in a pretty bad position when he doesn't have his tether up.
So we do get a ward down near this mid lane as well. They'll be able to see up the hill. They'll also be able to see potentially when Ake's off in the jungle stacking for S4. So this could be a good way to keep tabs on the Bat Rider.
Can they really contest the jungle, though? I don't think so. Well, I guess actually Lena's really rich.
Yeah, it looks like for now they are much more focused on just controlling their own jungle. See Sing Sing on the off lane here doing a bit of creep blocking, so pulls just the 1 creep back. But it should allow this lane to push mid. And interestingly, Loda is going to start boots first on the Lifestealer. Oh! Another kill mid. Mad walks in and they just bring down Ake. Didn't see how that started. Looked like Lena's stun wasn't even on cooldown.
Poor
Just tank
Io.
too much Viper auto attacks, I guess?
Trying to get his bottle and he can't even afford it, even though he didn't buy anything at the start.
Normally at this point you've had the bottle and you're like off stacking, but he's going to miss the stacks as well.
Got 10 stick charges on the Viper.
Uh-oh, S4 with the Flame Break coming out. He's engaging on top of this. Look at the damage, but not enough. 3 quick deaths for Alliance off the bat.
Oh, now you already see a wildly different skill build from Batrider with the 1 level sticky into 1 level frame break. That did a lot of damage.
It seems like it's. I have a feeling S4's played around with this a little bit already, because it definitely seemed like he was pretty confident it would do way more damage than normal, and it was close. It was close, Ben, but not quite enough.
But what's good against damage over times? Corrosive Skin.
Yeah, S4 really got punished for that.
And Magic Stick.
Haven't seen Bulldog TP out yet, but he does have the boots already. Hits level 2. Potential here for him to maybe turn these fights mid lane, as my nuts will completely whiff his dual breath on Sing Sing. We'll just walk away. Chucks out the shards. Wants this 2-minute rune. Has to be careful. The second dual breath available now. What's it gonna be? Shakiro grabbing a bounty rune. Now the dual breath. Sing Sing. Ice Path as well. Just cracked level 2 courtesy of the bounty rune. And with that, Sing Sing will go down. A very fortunate rune.
The greed. I guess this actually frees up top lane. It's not the worst thing in the world. If it were just a solo kill by THG, that'd be really bad. But like, if you got a haste or a DD, I think he would have been dead anyways. So that's still like a super risky play by Tusk.
Time for the good old quad lane mid. Maybe 5 heroes. S4 punished by Mad and Viz, and no Radiant Vision of that top rune. So 4 deaths off the bat for Alliance, with a Spectre essentially free farming. The Viper trading evenly mid and farm.
As much as I dislike Viper, I think he was a great pick here.
Especially when you've got something like a Spectre who can carry the late game.
Yeah, and he's like really good versus Lifestealer. I mean, it's just a terrible matchup to play Viper against.
Yeah, they picked Lifestealer into a Viper, so it's not like they got ambushed by it either.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good versus the Batrider, though. Batrider has a difficult time laning, and he is never really a prime lasso target.
S4 off to a slow start here mid. Does have the bottle at least, closing in on his boots. We'll see 6 napalm charges up on Necroman. It does have 15 stick charges already.
Mad is all up in
his
S4's business.
Yeah, and with this ward as well, they always see when Ake's nearby, so there will be no surprises from the IO. Very interesting start to the game here.
Yeah, once they get the stacks, though, and S4 gets his blink, and Lifestealer starts hopping into either Nature's Prophet.
Oh, he's going to do a little pulling mid lane.
Admiral
Nicely
Bulldog
played,
on top.
Bulldog top lane caught out. Will be sliced down by the Spectre. I mean, also bottom lane with a Beaver Knight getting trapped by Loda, and will be finished off. Got the early phase boots, does secure the kill. So Ake doing the mid pull now. And even going to go for an additional stack here. He's really trying to abuse the IO mid lane. Limited success so far. Necroman's already 5.5 at 4 minutes.
Yeah, he is very difficult to deal with. He doesn't even have max corrosive yet. Spectre, pretty good at chasing down Nature's Prophet. Sprout almost does nothing versus
They want
him.
the dog. Dagger into the trees. Gets eyes on him. Sakshka, nicely played. Now Bulldog trying to retreat out. Out comes the flames, and Bulldog will be sent home. Packing. So now S4, he makes his rotation into the woods. He is level 5 now, and they'll give the mid lane to the IO, but Ake does have to be careful.
Yeah, they actually
pretty damn underleveled and very squishy.
they picked one of the best heroes to just completely dominate a Nature's Prophet in the lane. You can't ever really play with Sprout against the Spectre.
Yeah, it doesn't even need that Quelling Blade. Just always has the dagger to work with.
And Matt has just been everywhere.
Yeah, and it really is, I feel like it's really hurting Alliance that they don't have a rune top, because they keep on getting ambushed by smoke ganks that direction, rune grabs. Matt had a haste, an invis before that, and now he's going to smoke and head towards bottom.
So let's see, what is Lifestealer going for? Gloves of Haste, looks like a Midas.
I suppose possible armlet, but probably the Midas.
Oh, Snowball and Ake.
Yeah, Ake trapped out. He does tether away. Well played by him, but the Haunt comes in. They're going to continue pursuing. Ake may end up giving a kill away to Sanchka. Didn't have the mana, 16 short of being able to get this kill. The cast continues to bounce. The counter gank as Alliance bring the whole 5-man gang in mid lane. Necroman will be punished for this. Looks like he's going to burn down to the bat. Now an additional charge. Trapping Loda away. What a great catch from across the river by the Tusk. Bailing out the Lina, allowing Mad to walk away. Very well done by Sing Sing.
That was huge. Very nicely played Sentry Ward 2 to catch the slightly oddly positioned Observer Ward from Team Monkeys, and S4 will finally get a rune. Not even opting to skill Lasso at level 6.
Yeah, he knows he needs to just get that Blink Dagger as quickly as possible.
The mana is very restrictive on that. But it looks like he's not maxing the Flame Break, just the value point for the huge burn damage with Napalm.
How does it scale here? Actually, level 1 is definitely a pretty good value point. Same cooldown, same mana cost, pretty high chunk of the overall damage.
Yeah, but you get 1 more second per level.
Yeah, that's true. The total damage scales reasonably well. Oh, by the way, Lotus now taking over at Granite Golem. This is interesting.
82 damage.
So you're basically never ganking him while he's like this. That's a given. But he also he's kind of
That's actually a little ridiculous. At least he doesn't have the stun like the other Mud Globes.
He also doesn't like push the lane as quickly or even farm as fast, so it is a trade-off here, just being a regular old Granite Golem.
The creeps have 632 HP. How do you move around though? Like you can't TP. I don't
you
think
have to uninfest.
You
right?
You can't get relocated.
Yeah, because it's magic immune. I don't know.
How long? What's the over under? How long he's gonna stay in there?
I think until he realizes it's probably not necessary.
They just fight.
I
everywhere.
want to see this with like a Chen, and like some sort of or some other kind of pushing composition, like a Dragon Knight maybe. This guy just runs in. He's tanking the tower. You get like I love the Jakiro with this.
Yeah, this is the pushing composition. They have an NP plus Jakiro.
But it could be more pushing.
Then you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
You got the Aya, you know, Batman's okay. Life stealer.
Sustain, man. For the sustain.
I'm really curious to see how this works out. But for now, it just means he's invincible. Nobody is ganking old Loda.
Yeah, and then when he pops out, he's still magic immune.
That's the thing is he'll maintain the rage. He's also, I guess he'll have a double infest basically because by the time he pops out, it should be off cooldown.
Still, they're having to deal with a free farming Spectre sitting at 600 gold with a circlet to complete the stick to free out some slots. Not sure what he's going for. Radiance is the go-to. Although maybe not anymore with Diffusal and Manta receiving sizable buffs.
Yeah, Spectre's an interesting hero. I've seen some players favor like an early drums on him. Some players rush the urn. Some Aquila and urn.
Yeah.
Phase and Treads are both pickups for various pro players. Usually it's been the Radiance build as of late, but I mean, there was that period where a lot of players would rush Manta style or even the Diffusal Blade in the mix, so it feels like one of those carries where there's seems to be multiple schools of thought on how to itemize it.
Yeah. I think if he tries to go for the Radiance build, though, he might get punished because right now it's pretty passive because Wisp is in 6 and Bat doesn't have his Blink Dagger, but come like 10, 11 minutes, things are going to change.
I just can't believe this bottom. This is just so wacky.
Do you get auras if you're infested? Like if you have a Bassi?
Oh, does the Granite Golem get the aura? You mean?
I mean, is it like the Brewmaster where if you have auras, your Earth Spirit like gives it off to, radiates it?
Oh, does he radiate auras?
Like
I'm gonna guess no, because I think that's like
Yeah.
specially coded for Brewmaster.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, should it? I would say yes.
I mean, what auras does it usually get? Drums plus.
Yeah, Lifestealer doesn't build that many. But I mean, if you did, then maybe the build would change, right?
Yeah.
Like AC's maybe an item you rush.
Bassi, man. The Bassi.
Definitely Bassi. That's a given. So the sieging golem works its magic. They will take the tower bottom.
You still never gave me an over/under on when he's gonna pop out of there.
Oh, well, I guess at this point
It was 2 minutes ago when I asked.
All right. Well, I probably would have said like 3 minutes, so I'm pretty sure. And I would have said the under. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be wrong.
But he might come out to kill someone.
He's not killing Tusk.
Yeah.
They're just content to ignore him here. They're free farming their Spectre top. I guess they feel like they're getting a good trade.
He can farm like anywhere on the map pretty stably. They have to like
you know what? You should honestly go into the enemy jungle and just like start stealing their neutrals. You know?
Yeah, but he doesn't have sustain. You don't have sustain as a Granite Golem.
He's gonna commit golem genocide.
No, he's trying to stack it to get a different creep.
It looked like you wanted to go beat up his little brothers. Had second thoughts.
You have to
Can
like
pick up runes and stuff while you're in this?
I don't know. You have to Viper Strike him to actually slow him.
Okay.
Okay, you won. It was 7-13.
Oh, was it? Yeah. I won by 1 second. Woohoo!
He had to use his Midas, man. Yeah, if you could use items while you're in the thing, as well as
and you had auras.
Yeah,
oh man,
that'd actually be pretty cool.
You'd probably want to stay in those.
Yep.
So Loda does go for the Midas in the end. Our Spectre player picks up Treads for Sakshka.
I'm a Treads builder myself on Spectre. I like it a lot more than Phase because it synergizes better with Dispersion, and
in theory with Dispersion maybe being stronger now, HP becomes better on Spectre. They do reveal the Blink Dagger though, Lasso coming out. Follow up from Bulldog as he brings in Loda. 4 heroes suddenly emerge on the top lane alliance. A quick surgical strike, they'll take down the Spectre. Now they hunt for a bit more. The Flame Break gonna push this Witch Doctor back, and man, look at the burn damage. He drops quick to that.
Wow, that is
just massacred the support.
That's a great buff. Oh my goodness.
That Flame Break did some work.
Yeah, I did not know it was gonna be that strong. Holy cow.
Yeah, so he's not leveling up the sticky Napalm. Goes back for the second point in Flame Break.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I'm very interested. Of course, S4. If anybody has Batrider as their signature player, it's got to be this guy. So he may be a pioneer for the new way to play him.
Although no one else runs a mid.
Yeah, that's true.
So that may be limited. But still showing that he is actually decently strong. No.
Yeah, I mean this was a terrible start for him. Let's bear in mind he got killed off twice, and his Wisp also gave up a kill in the lane.
Yeah, but you also have the ability to double stack in
because of the IO.
Yeah, so it's not. I mean, and you're Radiant, so it's a little bit easier to creep those 2 camps. So I don't know. I'm not completely sold on it, but I definitely like the idea.
Well, he's gotten past the point where Batrider really struggles. Now he's got the Blink Dagger, he's got his levels. They can start giving the mid lane to other heroes that really need the experience. So if you can get past that early part, now things get scary a bit for the Monkey Freedom fighters.
As long as they keep the Spectre decently underfarmed, then I think that Alliance is in a pretty good position. But if he gets like a Radiance, then it's going to be really tough because like IO and NP and Jakiro are all going to get burned down from the haunt. They're smoked up. Viper just completed his mech, so pretty good time. S4 looking for a potential area to gank, and they will also smoke. This is going to be awkward.
Well, no Ancient for Loda this time. He'll be the one to reveal it. Goes in immediately with the Rage, commits on demand. The Spectre counter-initiating his Viper Strike onto S4. Prevents him from getting anything done in this fight. Can't even cast a lasso or get it off. The cask was bouncing. Ake will drop as well. Alliance get ambushed. The Bulldog mech trying to... Or rather, that was the Viper mech. Bulldog mech not in the fight just yet. My nuts almost finished up by the Death Ward. Will go down in the end. 4 heroes collapse. Bulldog couldn't get to the fight, it seems, and never got to use the mech for the team.
The Viper too strong.
And Spectre all of a sudden just had about 1,000 gold, now up to 1,560. Gets active there. Excellent engagement. Only losing the Lina that time.
Yeah, so Lifestealer has a big problem where he just gets kited. You get kited by Viper Strike. You get kited by a well-placed Ice Shards like we saw in the mid lane. You get kited by Walrus Punch. You have to run away from the Death Ward because you have no way to stop the channeling. And Ake and S4 get rolled.
So they just relocated into that. And then, yeah, they were ready. The Monkey Freedom Fighters were definitely ready for that relocate.
There goes.
I guess they thought they could take down the Spectre, huh?
Yeah.
They were definitely wrong about that. That's the aggressive ward here, but with 2 heroes going down, Spectre, another 700 gold for Sakshka. He's only a little bit behind Loda with the Midas. And now they're jumping on the mid lane onto my nuts. Initiation's there, and they do get the kill. Just snowball in, Viper Strike, and down he goes.
I still don't see how they're ever going to kill the Viper. Once he has max corrosives again and, like, I would say like 1,800 HP with Scepter, he is just a complete tank. Feast, I guess, maybe because with the lifesteal percent, but inherently it's a bad matchup for Lifestealer. He can't ever actually right-click the Viper too often, so I don't think that's really a good solution. You don't want to lasso him. You will take a lot of damage as Jakiro if you even try and initiate on him. Nature's Prophet went for a non-damage build. The mech is, I think, pretty good if you have a lineup that won't win the late game. Like, at this point, Spectre is going to easily outscale the Lifestealer. Even though Lifestealer has a Midas, Spectre is just way better with the Radiance, and he'll be easy to he'll be easily able to catch up with in terms of farm. So I think the mech's the right choice, so they can team fight a lot more.
Yeah, but they need him there. Wasn't there in the fight bottom, and if the mech doesn't show up early, the other thing is that Batrider did not get the jump, and it feels like if he doesn't get the jump, and they have to fight 5v5, these fights are always going to be an uphill battle.
Well, that's where the Spectre ult comes in, and even if you do lasso someone, if Tusk has a blink dagger or he's close by, you can just snowball the lasso target, and
That's a good point.
That's a complete waste of the ultimate.
They have really good counter initiation, but if you don't initiate, then you're just royally screwed. That's where Spectre he used to be one of the big counter picks along with Silencer to heavy like 5-man strats, just because you could always global, prevent the blink initiation, and then look to counter initiate and turn the fight.
Okay, here's a big fight. If they lose this fight, I think Alliance has to completely
Snowball,
change.
S4 blinking out, but still the Spectre trying to follow him deep in the tree line. They even get the ice shards out. S4 flapping away. Good dodge there.
They should not fight this. They're not in a position to do so at all.
Mad's in a position where he wants to run in, but S4 will blink away, and they are just going to rat instead.
A good idea. The only hero who's mobile on Monkey Freedom Fighters is the Spectre, so I think they just need to dodge the Viper at all costs and keep the other people under farm and then kite him later.
Big initiation mid lane. The Walrus Punch comes out. Mech gets puffed by Bulldog, but it won't matter. Spectre slices him down with the Max Desolate, and now My Nuts, forced to run away, hides in the trees, will TP out. My Nuts are away to safety, but still, they lose Bulldog. They get nothing. They do get the tower, I suppose. But Spectre matching that with the tier 1 bottom. This doesn't feel like Alliance has that big lead you'd be hoping for against a terrifying late game monster. And now Sakshka about to get his relic. His Alliance mass TP out. The Beaver Knight was hunting on the prowl. Unable to locate anyone.
That's an acceptable casualty for them, though. They lose NP and a T1 for 2 T1s when they're behind, but still they're biding more time for Spectre to get her Radiance. Oh, Mercurial.
3-1 and 6 already on Paris here. Hasn't really been pressured much this game. You look at his CS, he's only 6 behind the enemy Lifestealer. Maybe there can be a courier snipe. Oh, sniping it before the Relic gets delivered would be huge. S4 jumping in. They're going to relocate for this. Relic already picked up, even if he ends up going down. And looks like Cats may drop to the IO damage. Chasing one way. The other direction gets massacred by Loda and S4. And okay, we'll now be able to tether and bring them back mid. We'll return Loda to his former stomping grounds. Oh, My Nuts split pushes away.
It's a good idea that they have.
Trying to use that mobility as much as possible. Seems they've somewhat given up on the power of the Ancients.
They have to. The map is so open to them with all the T1s taken down that they can just kind of control their farm. At the same time, though, can Viper farm out in that dangerous of a position and still survive? I'm not sure. I think it's really up to Tusk to try and delay the death, and then they can like snowball into the Batrider and kill him.
Looking at smokes here as well for the Dire, which they've used very successfully. None available for 4 minutes. It does give Alliance a little window, Ben, where they can maybe start pushing or pressuring him more. Get a Maelstrom on Bulldog, amping up the Rat to go with that. A 4-staff for S4.
Amping up the farm.
Yeah.
He has no farming tools, so I think he needs a Maelstrom to be relevant in the late game. And the Infest, he's
Also
in an Ancient Black Dragon. Oh, that thing's fast. It's 423?
Huh?
Wow. Is it normally that fast? I don't think it is.
No. Is it getting his move speed?
I don't know why it's that fast.
Did it? Was that something that got changed in
no, that's
6.84?
That's the 6.84? I don't think so. He looks really fast. I could be wrong though about how it normally is. Maybe he just is that fast and he's just ranged, so I never see him move. But it just seems way faster than normal. The other dragons have 350 move speed.
Oh, I know when Chen takes them over, they're slow as molasses. S4 did smoke up towards the top side of the map already. The Haunt comes in, baits it out, blinks away. Nicely done. Will he find anybody? Doesn't seem so. So they force out the Haunt for just the cost of a smoke.
Maybe he gets the SNY move speed.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No, they didn't change. They only added the assimilate thing. Yeah, so they didn't actually change it. Maybe he's always had it. We just never noticed before.
All right, Viper closing in on Scepter. Spectre closing in on Radiance. Just another 400 gold to go. But Alliance trying to stop that from happening. Was he going for Basher? Basher's okay. Trying to lock down the Viper.
Or MKB for the mischance, I guess. Or does Rage block that already? I guess it does, right? Or the Radiance mischance.
It should, yeah.
Okay.
But I think his main problem is Viper.
Yeah, well, I guess having a Basher helps there. You can maybe chain stun him with the lasso. Inspector's still kind of squishy.
So let's see, how are the supports doing in terms of farm? Yule's up on Delina, Witch Doctor closing in on Glimmer, but no signs of Scepter. S4 has his Force Staff already. I think he needs a BKB. The Yules might be a pretty big problem if Lina ever gets a Blink Dagger, and it's just a really great way to counter-initiate if Tusk does not have the mobility to do so, which he went for a mech build, so he's actually going for Vlads.
The lasso goes bottom. We'll find the Beaver Knight, and the Beaver Knight has been slain. Down goes Sing Sing. But the Monkey Freedom Fighters, they just react by calmly pushing in the mid lane.
But Wisp is about to get isolated.
TPing the whole gang back. Ake, as he returns from the relocate, will be finished off. No lasso to really counterplay this, but they are split pushing. My nuts. Again, the twin heads emerge on the top lane, and doing a great job here of ratting. Though he may get caught. Blinks, and will make it out. And back to the mid lane. Loda Rage trying to get this tower. Deny. Will he? Yeah, looks. No. Cast bounces back to him. Yeah, he'll get the last hit. S4 continues pursuit, trying to stack up the napalm and mad.
He has no vision uphill, though. It's way too dangerous.
Oh, when they added the infestability, controlled units share his movement speed. So it's 6.83, not 6.84.
What if you could use items, though? Like phase. A phasing Black Dragon?
Phasing Black Dragon.
That'd be cool. I would like that.
Yeah, honestly, I just never, I never see Lifestealer in my pub, so have not really played with this hero in like 6-8 months.
The only unit worth infesting prior was the Golem, and you would actually want the Golem to die so you can spawn more. I didn't really see it move that quickly.
Yeah, then you get the double boulder toss, right?
Yeah.
My nuts does a bit of spotted dewarding here, trying to maintain that radiant vision.
Problem is, no one's actually taking out the Ancients, so he doesn't really have any new Ancients to keep creeping.
I mean, I think Spectre's better at killing them now with the... Oh, wait, actually, the Desolate's still blocked by the magic community, so... I guess that doesn't really help you against the Ancients.
Dispersion. Pierces spell immunity, no.
Huh. But it says reflects the same damage type. So I guess if you're reflecting magic or pure damage, it will not pierce spell immunity. But if you're reflecting physical damage, that pierces spell immunity by default. I'm confused.
Okay, Lifestealer clearing out. Oh no, Admiral Bulldog.
Yeah, he's in very deep. Takes the Walrus Punch. Will end up going down.
Doesn't matter. Spent gold.
Got the Mjolnir for the Lifestealer.
Uh-oh, if they get Aegis though on Spectre, he's gonna go wild.
Right now they do have Necroman top. They even TP Mad out. So it doesn't seem like MFF are too confident and very dangerous to go into the Roche Pit. You're up against a Bat Rider, the king of the pit, or at least used to be. Yeah, this is a limber and athletic golem.
They do have the Vlads though on the Tusk, so it's much more open to them than a normal Spectre lineup is. And on top of that, I think at some point he needs a blink just to counterplay the Bat Rider. I guess you can also get a Lotus Orb, which is decent against Bat. Okay, Ancient Granite Golem looking for someone to fight.
They have relocate. They got. This is cool because it's like a very safe scout, and they're TPing in the squad here potentially. In runs the Golem, ushering all of MFF back. Get away from my team. Well, he's starting to take a little damage here. 8 armor, pretty tanky. This will free up the split push. Bulldog and S4 going to the bottom lane. Uppercut. They really want to kill this damn thing, and they might be able to bring it down soon. Ice Path comes through. They've already taken the tier 2 bottom lane, though. Alliance really ramping up the split push now.
The Golem buying time,
Yes,
creating
stalling
space.
tactics. Beautiful. I love it. About to die here, though. He rushes forward, trying to get in range. Jakiro with the Ice Path will catch Necroman. They do stop ratting bottom, though. They get the single bash. Laguna comes out. Immediately, my nuts trying to back off. Can't make it out. Punch to the nuts, and down he'll go. S4 now up to the high ground. Ake tethering away. Taking too much damage from Necroman. He'll get blown up as well, and now the hunt comes onto S4. One by one, Alliance just getting picked to bits, and S4 will be next. Harris helping to secure that kill. Gets the last hit as well.
Ah, the fake back.
He got caught off.
THD aggressively blinked, or blunk, to try and catch out the Viper, but Viper is the worst target to go on. But if it's a like 5-on-3 situation, you're like, okay, we can do this. And then Spectre haunts in, and you realize Viper's whole team is there, and then you run for your lives.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower
And
is
die.
under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Okay, so monkeys take down the Roche soon. They should. It's about that time. And Spectre with that is again going to be pretty unstoppable. Spectre going for Vit Booster. HP build's not the best versus Lifestealer, but pretty much really good versus everyone else.
And looks like Spectre closing in now on the heart. Gets the Vit booster.
Ew.
He's gonna be. They just don't have that much firepower to bring him down. Maybe if Flota gets his Abyssal Blade.
I mean, it's still not that much. He still has Dispersion, though. Dispersion is such a good tanking ability. And they have Glimmer to get him out of situations. And they have Mech. And they have Snowball. Okay, just a casual fit into Manta. Manta, I think, is much better versus their lineup. They need a little bit more damage. And they should be able to secure Roche at some point, so he doesn't need the HP terribly badly.
This forward gets the gem now, trying to do some dewarding. Alliance continue to rat it up. They'll push the top lane here. Tier 2 tower under siege. Glyph comes out. Do they want to defend this? Looks like they do. T-Pain in Saint. He's rotating back. Trying to get the jump here on Loda, maybe.
Spectral up in 3. If they get the jump and Batrider gets hit by Spectre before he blinks, that's almost a lost fight right there. But Viper's not in a position to do so.
So it looks like Sakshka now. He's not going to go for the heart straight away. Backing off for the Manta. Gets his Yasha. Get a bit of a buff in the most recent patch.
Manta's so good. I don't even know if they want to take down the golems. Viper looked at it and he's like, nah, I don't really want to take this. Let's not give him any more fodder to run around with.
And right now he's got a Thunderhide and a Drake to work with. No golem available.
War Drum's Aura. 15% attack speed, 15% damage. That's really good.
Yeah, I guess the big problem is your big damage dealer is the hero inside of it, though. So doesn't get to use his full kit.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you could like leave the body somehow and keep that creep alive, but unfortunately Lifestealer devours everything he consumes.
It's a voracious fella. Monkey Freedom Fighters just kind of restricted here. 5 heroes backed up in their own territory, but still farming Sakshka all the while, keeping up with the Lifestealer more or less.
Yeah, Rosk is risky because if they lose a fight and Alliance gets it, and they have like a tremendously strong pushing lineup, especially with the Jakiro. So
Seems like there's no hurry. I mean, Alliance isn't threatening anything. They're just farming.
well, it's just so you can set up for the win later with on the back of like a second Aegis or something like that. Like securing one Aegis is really, really good. It increases their chance of victory by like at least 15-20%, I would say, with that. But I don't think they can do it safely because, as you mentioned, the threat of the Batrider.
S4 will now grab a bounty rune at the top side of the map. You see Mad continue to clear out the jungle. He's really kept his farm up as the Lina. 30 minutes in, about to complete an Aghanim Scepter. Had a great start and just continues to deliver. And this despite the fact that they've had to play very carefully on their supports for the most part. We'll see Sing Sing into the Vlads that you mentioned. Now point booster pickup on him.
See, wouldn't you be much more comfortable with the Tiny at this point in the game if you're Alliance? Well, this time it's just like, man, why don't we just pick Tiny?
Over Lifestealer.
Yeah, it's Lifestealer is like decent, but what has he really offered that a Tiny didn't? I guess Tiny's not that great in lane by himself, so that's actually, I think, somewhat valid of an argument. But like, I would so much rather be in Alliance's shoes with a Tiny right now than MFF. But because they have a Lifestealer, I'm like, if I'm MFF, I'm like, okay, well, just let Spectre get big, let Viper get big. He'll control the Lifestealer, and he can tank everything, and we'll be good.
Looks like a free Aegis now for MFF, not even remotely contested by Alliance. S4 off in his own woods, so this will be 2 lives on the Spectre, completing the Manta at that very moment. It's the 5-second lower cooldown now as well.
Have fun dealing with 2 lives with Dispersion.
Yeah, imagine if he gets his next item.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So only 400 gold, so just need to do a bit of farming here. Okay, kind of scouting things out in this top lane, but as much as it seems like Alliance are spreading the map, they're not really starving MFF at all. They're dead even in terms of gold. The graph actually only slightly dipping the Alliance way. Get now a BKB on Bulldog. So he can try and stand in these fights a bit longer.
It blocks a lot of damage from Spectre, though, which is pretty important to do. But unfortunately, that's only for himself. Io is still going to have a lot of trouble staying alive. She might just get straight Laguna'd, which is death combined with Haunt. Jakiro doesn't have a healthy amount of HP. Let's see, little Llama bringing a Manta style.
Oh, double Manta now. Good way to get out of the open wounds here, and also just to potentially bait the Bat Rider to lassoing the wrong target. Used to see a lot of that back when Bat Rider was a popular carry.
It's also okay for sieging high ground, although Heart might be a little bit better. Looks like Ake and Loda playing around in the trees, looking to backstab somebody, but S4 is nowhere in sight. And if they go on this, they're going to get haunted on.
Oh, they saw him. I think they saw Loda walking.
Oh, they have an observer ward over there? That is actually...
Well, it looked like they saw him. They pinged.
That's a crazy observer ward that you would not expect.
Yeah, Loda's rushing in now. Finds Necroman. Are they going to look for the lasso initiation? The Manta's there. S4's got to figure out which one is real. Does get the lasso off, but it's after the team's taking a whole lot of damage, and now the Spectre haunts in. On to 3, and, well, Loda will be next. Infest, get me out of here! No such luck. He's down for the count. Even through the Abyssal. It's actually 4 heroes falling as the last man down was the Jakiro on the mid lane. Looks like Mad just picked him off solo. A 4-0 with Spectre, the biggest victor of them all in that fight.
Yeah, they try to all in on
Suddenly
Viper.
2,800.
But Viper is unkillable.
And then the Spectre's just free to roam. Free to punish.
Where was NP, though?
Top tower is under attack.
He was split pushy, I think.
Radiant
I think if they had him, they might have been able to drop the Viper at least, but it would just been a 5-for-1 instead of a 4-for-0, which is not that much better.
We'll take down the tower now. Taking on the melee racks. No split push in sight. Alliance just getting consistently beaten in these fights, and now they're going to lose a full lane of racks with nothing to show for it. This is not how they envisioned the game going, but now they've got to fight against the beefy Spectre. There's a whole lot of farm. Not at all what the game plan was meant.
Good idea not to throw it there. It's already risky pushing high ground against a Bat Rider, but if you try to go for the T4s, often you get lasted into the fountain, and then you just get wrecked.
Well, the gem carrier has been trapped. Sing Sing may end up going down here. Wisp relocates in, wants to rejoin the fight, and they will lose their gem. I think was that the one S4 just had? No, that was actually Sing Sing.
Yeah, that was Sing Sing's. So. Oh, he's going for Scepter for the Walrus kick.
What was the change to that again?
200 damage.
Ah.
I still think Blink is pretty good, or Blink or Lotus, but it just like if they Lotus the Viper while he's getting focused down by Lifestealer. Oh my goodness! And then there's no more lifesteal from the open wounds. Scepter is kind of fun though to kite Lifestealer. It's more flashy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it feels like he can kind of go for whatever he wants at this point. Spectre's just so self-sufficient. The Viper's a huge red herring to focus, even if they can kill him. And I mean, even your other supports, like Lina has a Shadow Blade now. There's a Glimmer Cape on Cat, so all these heroes are just very independent and survivable in general.
Shadow Blade, I raise you my Shadow Blade.
Kind of on the later end here. Now, I suppose Silver Edge would be quite good against Spectre. Roof's both Dispersion and Desolate, right? I think so.
I don't think Desolate.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's usually not the offensive abilities. It's usually the defensive.
Bulldog getting caught out here. Laguna comes in. He tries to run away, but they do have the vision from the Gem of Mad. Will finish him off. Now the Ice Path coming in, trying to TP out. No! My nuts! Caught by the Yule Scepter. Follow-up stun, and a Walrus Punch ends him. And that is just about the Walrus Kick. So, S4 will try to split push out the mid lane, but he's got to be careful as well. 2 heroes down on the run, trying to retreat out. Meanwhile, Lonely Treant saying, hey, love me, Mr. Cats.
It is Desolate and Dispersion. Yeah, pretty good.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe this is where Spectre even considers like a late game BKB.
Yeah.
He's still very tanky even without Dispersion. And you still have the Radiance Mischance as well.
Wow.
I'm curious to see how much it can do. And that's assuming you get it off on him.
Break disables Phantom Assassin's crit. It's crazy.
It disables both of PL's abilities. Oh, Phantom Assassin, you're saying.
Yeah.
Gets rid of the evasion, too.
I know. Well, that's awesome.
Radiance
But I was like, wow, she can't even do any damage. But
I'm pretty sure for Void it disables Backtrack and the Bash as well.
weren't those coded weirdly before? Yeah, I guess they recoded it. Backtrack used to not be able to be disabled by anything.
Yeah, even Doom, I think?
Yeah, even Doom prior Hex, I believe. Times have changed. Spectre no longer with the Radiance, but still feeling pretty darn confident. I don't know if they have 2 Force Staves. I don't think so, or else they could possibly go for a Fountain Lasso, but at this point, the 2 beefy heroes are up in front. They're sieging the tower. Who do they go on?
Loda does have the Mjolnir buff on him, but he's just felt squishier and squishier as these fights have gone on. And as S4 blinks in, Sakshika was ready. Quickly Manta dodges and drops low just to a single Viper Strike. May have to go back to the well. Ice Path comes through. This will set up the Macro Pyre. All 3 heroes trapped within it as Loda initiates charging forward, but Spectre haunts to counter-engage. Loda about to go down. He will fall. My nuts are next. And they'll drop as well. Now Bulldog zoned out and chased back to the fountain. A double buyback to try and turn this. No. Aegis on Paris. He gets flame broken back a bit. But Alliance still being slowly sieged. And oh, there's the lasso dragging Necroman towards the well. They might be able to finish him off. They will. Overextension here a bit from MFF, but they do force the buybacks. It's a mega kill streak for Bulldog now. Sprout as he rushes forward, courtesy of the TP, trying to finish off Cats, but gets relocated back, it looks like. Actually relocated forward because they want to go for some additional kills, but Aki's overextended. Bulldog looks like he may go down as well. Spectre's still fairly durable in this fight. Could honestly consider going back in, but gets caught by the Ice Path. Now he wants to run away. They end up getting 4 heroes. Can Paris bring the entire gang down solo? Not with the Lifestealer here. Holds him in position, gets the bash. It's a wipe. Alliance completely turned the fight. It looked like Bulldog was dragged in too deep for a moment there, but somehow he survives. And even through the double buyback, they emerged with a 2,700 gold swing and a 6,000 experience trade.
It's pretty good how that turned out. S4, I thought he was going for the lasso on the Spectre, but he manted it. I don't even know if it was, if he wanted to go on that. Just because, do you really want to lasso a Spectre with those items? And on top of that, he might get Yules. He didn't pop his BKB before, which makes me think that he didn't actually want to go on him.
Yeah, maybe trying to bait something out.
Yeah, but all he baited out was a Manta, so at the end of the day, I'm not sure if that was worth it. But at the end of the day, because he saved his lasso, he's able to pull that Viper into the fountain.
So it is the Silver Edge. Spectre's a lot more mortal now. Going for a Diffusal Blade next.
Can you Manta off the break?
I don't think so. I want to say no. I believe you can... I think it's only BKB. Or anything else that gives you magic immunity.
Okay, well, Roshan has respawned. Dire Nose is up. And that was without the Aegis. I think with the Aegis, like even if you get Fountain lassoed, you can probably still at least take a Rax. So they should be feeling very, very good at this point in the game.
When the dust settles, it's Alliance still not taking any objectives here. They're still a tier 2 mid. They will grab the Aegis now. So they'll have a second life to work with on Sakshka. Although he will be in the middle of the fight when that second life starts. There's still no completed butterfly, though. He is quite close to it. And Diffusal Blade now officially online. Now, the change with this is there's a 0 cast time, or 0 cooldown on it. So you can just, like, triple purge, or even purge everyone if you want right away. I don't know how much it's actually going to make a difference, but curious to see.
Yeah, that item was not that great before. Now it's, I would say, pretty decent. Burdens on range illusions. No cooldown. I wonder if Warlock's going to make a comeback because of the Purge no longer destroying the Golem. Okay, here we go. Same formation. Let's see. No other force that built up. So they're going to have to be closer to tier 4 towers to try and bring them back into the fountain. Lifestealer just completed a Dezo.
Haunt comes out. They get the initiation onto Necroman. Ice Path covering this as the Prophet will end up getting the Viper kill off the bat. Loda, though, will almost go down. Get me out of here. Bulldog, TP me home. It's on cooldown. Bulldog's trying to do the damage all by himself, but surrounded by the Beaver Knight. He'll end up falling, cleaned up by the Spectre. 4 dead. Several of these diebacks, heroes who cannot rejoin the fight, even if they want to, and now the Purges continue to come out. S4 being hunted back to the well. A full 5-man takedown, an ultra kill for Paris. And GG as MFF will crush their way through Alliance in game number 1.
Overall, an exciting picks from Alliance, but at the end of the day, a lot of it was just very underwhelming. Batrider had a very, very tough time in lane, mainly because of the Viper pick. Lifestealer just can't transition out of a good laning phase, and Nature's Prophet still suffers a lot of deficiencies in the off lane, mostly due to the Spectre. So overall, I think it's a pretty big outdraft by Monkey Freedom Fighters. And I even think that was with a Tusk that didn't do as much as he could. Like, he never really snowballed a lasso target because of his build. And if you can just counter initiate that, like, there's almost no way to come back from a team fight like that. So, yeah.
Interesting experiment here from Alliance for sure, but they definitely need to start putting some wins on the board. They have not qualified for any big events yet.
Batrider's playable, though, so
yeah.
This might be their patch. And NP.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. We'll have to see. But, guys, we'll take a quick break here. Game 2 coming up soon. The Monkey teams looking to go 2-0 today in their respective matches as the Freedom Fighters are up 1-0 versus Alliance. Stick around. We'll be right back.